Let's talk about the Subway Series because people in New York, for whatever reason, Coca, they're all super excited about this weekend of sports. So the Mets are going to New York to play the Yankees. So obviously there's a ton of attention on this. And were it not for the Knicks playing tonight at home, the real focus would be in the Bronx. It almost feels like if you go to the Bronx tonight, it's like the Booby Prize because the Garden is where it's at, no matter whether you're a big baseball fan versus a basketball fan. It just seems that a clinching game against the Celtics versus a regular season game against the Mets, that's no comparison. However, it's the first game back for Soto. That would be interesting, except Soto spent a year with the Yankees. If Soto were if Jeter had gone to the Mets and then returned to play in Yankee Stadium, that's big. Soto, I don't know. And he's preparing us like it's going to be major. He did a quote, Coca. He said it's going to be 50,000 against 1. They're going to try to get on me. You know, it's part of it. Whatever they do, they have the right to do it. I'm just going to go out there and do my stuff. I'm just going to try to focus on my game. All right? What does that mean? Can we dig into the whole Juan Soto situation a little bit? Juan Soto, who for some reason people are saying, did he really take the Mets only because of the money? Yeah. Well, we thought the Yankees were offering somewhat close. You sure? Juan Soto himself was very clear. He gave a list to Steve Cohen and to Hal Steinbrenner. Steve Cohen said yes to everything. Juan Soto was a Met. There was no loyalty to the Yankees. He didn't care. There was no love between the teammates. Juan Soto wasn't the most popular Yankee where the Yankees say, oh my God, we can't continue. We're devastated to have lost him. You got the wrong player, folks. Now, Juan Soto's skills are off the charts. But think about that quote. I did it at David P. Samson on X, and people misunderstood it. What he should have said, it's going to be 50,000 against 26, meaning him and all of his teammates. But Juan Soto is famous for saying it's going to be 50,000 against 1 because that tracks perfectly. Juan Soto is not exactly the glue of a clubhouse. Now people can say poo-poo, and there'll be agents who would tell you that, and there are certain players who would not want this sort of laundry laundered, but there is clear and convincing proof that I have. Just because I've been in the game. I'm not a journalist. This is not me as a journalist. I don't have a scoop for you. I can just tell you, no love lost when he leaves the Padres, when he leaves the Yankees, when he leaves the Nationals. I'm not yucking on his skills. Are we clear on that fact? I'm merely saying that selfish players who want their money, who want their stuff, who want to be treated differently, doesn't always end well. Soto does have a ring, though. So what am I looking at when Juan Soto comes to the Yankees? You're booing him? Because are you sad that he chose the Mets over you? Are you sad at Steinbrenner for not saying yes to enhancements of the family room? Give me a break. I love the fact that you have the right to boo, and you should. You want to boo, boo. It's all good. Meanwhile, your team, as you know, is in first place. You're 4 games ahead in your division. You're the only team in the AL East with a winning record at 25-18. You've got the greatest player on the planet, not named Ohtani, in Aaron Judge. Just a little note that everyone thinking, oh, what's Judge going to do without Soto and Stanton? Well, how about hitting .412 with 15 home runs and 41 ribbies? By the way, triple crown, leading the league in all 3. What about an OPS of 1279? Uh-oh. I feel like Judge is doing just fine with the protection he has. Soto, meanwhile, is only hitting .255 with 8 homers and 20 ribbies. OPS of 845. It's not really tremendous production for a guy who got paid 700 plus. Now, the Mets are in first place. They're 2.5 games ahead of the Phillies. They're 12 games over. But I can't imagine that anyone at this moment is saying the Yankees are worse off without Soto. I can't imagine anyone saying the Mets are World Series contenders with Soto versus without. They were World Series contenders last year. May I remind you when the Mets got eliminated last year? Now, you're going to say, David, the Yankees lost in the World Series. The Mets lost in the League Championship Series. So now if Soto goes from the Yankees to the Mets, wouldn't that mean the Mets will be in the World Series and the Yankees would lose in the Championship Series? Like there'd be a switch because of Soto. Not how it works. I have a wait to see. I don't think the Yankees actually preseason. I told you I don't know that the Yankees even win the division. I don't even have them winning a wild card. I do not think they'll be able to stand up over the course of an entire season. We're about at the quarter pole. They have outperformed at 7 games over. They are trending to be a 100-win team. I don't see this Yankee team as a 100-win team, but we will find out. The Mets are trending that way too, according to their winning percentage, and the Mets are doing it by pitching the heck out of the ball with a cast of characters that you would not have expected to perform this way, which is why baseball is the greatest sport ever, because you take a team where you just don't know what you're going to get, and then you watch the season unravel, and it's like a piece of art where at every angle it looks different, where when you gain perspective, you gain appreciation for what you've seen and the hope of what you will see. That wasn't the moment I was going to be emotional, but it felt like I could have been, because baseball, Matt, it's a James Earl Jones moment. It just has things that the other sports don't have.